Fire! Welcome! It's Records Roundup number 12, and I've got 4 albums. Well, I say 4 albums. One of them's technically a double EP, but I would consider it an album. And the other one, although that is technically classed as an album, I would consider it more of a box set. But we'll get on to them. Right then, first off is a couple of purchases from JPC over in the beautiful country of Germany. I'm going to show you the latest addition to my burgeoning Eurodance collection. You all know I'm a massive Eurodance and Europop fan, particularly the 1990s when the genres were really coming into their own. And can you really have a Eurodance collection without a record of some description from an artist who made one of the biggest Eurodance hits of the, early 90s, about 93, What Is Love came out. Yes, you know that I'm talking about Hadaway. This is a reissue of his album, very originally titled The Album. I've not listened to this yet. This is how it's come. So they separated the disc out from the actual sleeve. You'll be able to see a proper look at the sleeve on screen now, but it's not exactly the most interesting of record covers. Just Hadaway himself standing posing, I think. There's a look at the back of it with a fair amount of information on it. Even gives you a little paragraph about what he's up to now. I say now, I think this is quite a recent reissue. If it's not this year, it'll be last year. So Hadaway, What Is Love was his big single. I think it's easy to sort of assume that he was a one-hit wonder really, but certainly from my own memory as well. He had at least, I think, 3 top 10 singles here in the UK. Might have even been 4, or top 20 maybe. But What Is Love, that was unlucky not to get to number 1, but I'm assuming it got to number 1 all over Europe, and he probably did well on continental Europe years after he kind of faded here in the UK. And he even had some traction in the US, of course, with What Is Love, which does feature on here. Yes, of course, it's the first track on side A, as you would expect. It's got other singles of his on. Rock My Heart, I remember that one. I don't know if that would be classed as yellow or slightly gold vinyl. I think yellow actually it's classed as. Interesting stuff to read about him on the back, although it's probably mostly copied from his Wikipedia page. A nice reissue this, and one that I think I would have struggled to find here in the UK, but JPC, I really love their site. I've got a lot of stuff that would be very difficult, almost impossible, to order from an actual UK record store or some sort of UK seller, and I'm continuing to order from there. I've got a few pre-orders from JPC that should be coming to me in December, which I'm very excited about, but of course you'll see them as and when. But that's Hadaway with his debut album, The Album. The second purchase from JPC is the first record from Gigi D'Agostino I've bought in quite some time. This is Techno Fez Volume 2. Gigi D'Agostino, I've got a couple of his albums. They're technically classed as greatest hits albums, although one of them so early on in his career, I think, well, you know, how many greatest hits would he have when he's barely been around? I was just looking to see if he had anything else out on vinyl, and this came up. I can't remember the original release date. It was sometime in the early 2000s, and then this repress was something like 2014, but it'll say on screen. Technically this is a double EP rather than an album, but there's enough tracks on it for me to consider this an album, and I think they're all quite sort of long versions of the tracks as well. I'm familiar with some of what's on here, not all. Notable inclusions are La Passion, which I know, L'amour toujours, which is probably his most well-known hit, and a cover of Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Round. I do like this, kind of reminds me a little bit of like sort of Hergé and Tintin style artwork. I don't know if that's the look he's going for, or whether this is like a homage to a different kind of artist, but it's got a sort of European comic feel to it. You can tell this is quite a recent, well, it's not that recent because it's from 2014, so 8 years ago. It's got a QR code on the back. Really happy that I've finally got some more Gigi into the collection. Lento Violento, Pioneer, Italian hard dance. His music had a lot of Italo disco elements to it. Some of his cover versions, I've listened to them digitally for years now, and I just absolutely love them. Probably my favourite Italian artist of all time, really. I would collect a lot more of his stuff, but I tend not to buy too many sort of 7 and 12-inch singles unless they're of an actor. I really want to collect everything in these days because, well, I just don't have the room. But I thought, yeah, as this is pretty much an album, even though people are classing it as an EP or a 2-disc EP, I will get Technofest Volume 2 and Volume 1. I don't know if I can get that. Maybe it's available somewhere, but I don't think it got a reissue. Right, on to my very favourite group now, my very favourite band of all time. This was a pickup from HMV. It's an album I've already got on CD, but I've decided I'm slowly, and I do mean slowly because I just haven't got the money to be able to do it particularly quickly, but sort of building up and doubling up with this band. When I saw that there was like a limited edition vinyl album of this particular live performance that had come out, I thought, yeah, I'm gonna start getting some of these other New Order albums onto vinyl, even though I do already own them on compact disc. And this is the one that I was referring to as being pretty much a box set, really, just from the way it's packaged. Look, it's So It Goes, the collaboration between New Order and Liam Gillick, and also it features I think something like 12-piece synthesizer orchestra, or it could even be 20-piece. There again, I keep saying it, but I've check my facts and put them on screen, so I needn't really say anything because I'm probably getting things wrong. Synthesizer orchestra from the Royal Northern College of Music as well. On Mute Records, as you can see from the hype sticker, it says it's it does say 12-piece on there. I'm glad I checked that now. It's got a 24-page booklet and it's got triple coloured vinyl. I have opened this and listened to this already, and I'd listened to the CD back when it came out in 2019 it was. So this was a performance, or one performance out of, I think they had like a week's residency or something at the old Granada Studios in Manchester. And it was kind of like a concert residency mixed with an art exhibition. It was just something completely different. And what I love about So It Goes, and that I've always loved about it since I bought the CD when it came out a few years ago, it's very different to a standard New Order live set because they're performing tracks that have either they've never performed live before, and some of them being quite old, or that they haven't performed for years. It's not like, I will say with New Order, it seems in the last however many years, apart from when they did this residency, their live sets do end up being a little bit samey, and they don't really have any variety. Here's the nice booklet. Whoops, that's upside down. There's a CD size one of these in the CD. The compact disc is catalogued somewhere in my New Order collection behind me, but I couldn't be bothered to get it out when I'm showing you the records anyway. But yeah, it's got essays in it, some nice photography. As is often the case with New Order, they get the graphic design and the presentation spot on. This residency at the old Granada Studios was covered in the Sky Arts documentary Decades, which I think I've only ever seen that once, but it was a really good watch. But I mean, it's New Order, I'm all in on them. I'll enjoy anything related to them. So inside this hard slipcase, which makes this kind of like a glorified box set, we do have 3 records. And as I've opened this, I thought I might as well show them you, but they come in these almost plain white outer sleeves. I say almost because I'm sure at least one of them had some sort of symbol or something on them. But then you get a black inner sleeve that gives you the track information on the particular disc. There's also a download code there if anyone wants to get a butcher's of that and use it, feel free, because I never bother. This one is red vinyl. Disc 2 here. More track info. And that's on green vinyl. If I move it so that the light catches it right, you can see it looks like some sort of scientific formula or something. And the third and final disc here is a blue disc. Feels like the first blue record I've got in quite a while, that. I know I do have others in my collection though. Seems a little bit of a rarity at the moment, blue vinyl for me, but there we are. Out of all the official New Order live albums, and there's been a fair few of them now, and I do have them all, it's my favourite just because of how different, and the different songs, and the rather more obscure and more sort of cult and fan favourites rather than the obvious ones. There's no True Faith, there's no Blue Monday. There is Bizarre Love Triangle, which they play pretty much every concert ever, but I don't mind that because Bizarre Love Triangle is just absolutely phenomenal. It has always been one of my all-time favourite tracks, but there's a lot of other stuff. If you're interested in New Order but you've never listened to it, I do recommend that, as it's absolutely marvellous. Right then, mail opening to do. And this is from the website, which is also technically a record label, Live Here Now. Could be Live Here Now, but given that they're a label and a site that specialise in live concert recordings, I'm going to assume with fair certainty that it's Live Here Now. Oh yeah. And what we have here is another New Order live album. This is NOMC15, which stands for New Order Music Complete 2015. Now then, this particular, maybe not this actual concert itself, which was from Brixton Academy in London, but the tour, the 2015 winter tour that they went on, means a massive amount to me because that was the tour on which I finally saw New Order live in concert for the first time. I saw them at the glamorous location of the Civic Centre in Wolverhampton. It was something, it was like a bucket list thing. I thought, you know, I've got to see them once before, you know, either they split up for good or I snuff it. And it was on this tour that I did see them not too long after Music Complete, their comeback album, came out. So this album itself came out in 2017. There's a couple of different vinyl versions. Once again, I do have this on CD, by the way, and I've also got a bootleg CD of the Wolverhampton gig that I was at. I have shown that in videos before, but as it's a bootleg, I don't tend to show my bootlegs very often. If anyone would like to have a look at my New Order bootlegs, because that's pretty much the only artist I've collected bootleg CDs in, let me know. I think I can probably risk just tearing into this cellophane as there's no hype sticker. I decided to order this from Live Here Now as I'm hoping this is their store exclusive clear vinyl version. I did pay extra for that. The standard black vinyl edition is on Mute Records sales website, but it did say that this was the clear vinyl version, like the more limited one on Live Here Now. I need to get it open and make sure that is the case. If I could just tear all this cellophane off nice and quickly, as there's no hype to worry about. Oh no, it is a gatefold sleeve, which I always enjoy. In fact, oh, it's actually, what do you call that, trifold, is it? So I think it's a 2-disc edition. As live albums go, it's not exactly, I would say, very challenging to New Order or out of their comfort zone. There's like sort of all the usual suspects and then certain tracks from their, what would have been fairly new album Music Complete at the time. It's New Order. I wanted to slowly but surely double up on their albums. I mean, I've been doing that with those definitive edition box sets that I've talked about a lot, but I've been waiting for the third one, the Low Life one, to come out for like over 2 years now, and there's been no announcement, so I'm wondering if they've stopped that series. I will get one of the discs out because that's why the main reason why I opened it now, to check, see if this was the clear vinyl version. No, I think this is triple vinyl because I've got the middle one out, look. Yep, it's the right version, look. And I can safely assume that the other 2 discs are the clear discs as well, as why would they mix and match? That wouldn't make any sense at all. It is a triple disc version, kind of like So It Goes here. I don't think it's got an actual sort of insert or booklet with it, but it does have your track details in the middle and a little bit of production and boring legal stuff on the bottom there. There we go, NOMC15 from New Order.
Is like a sleeping demon. Listen, can you hear him weeping? 'Tis of joy and 'tis of sorrow. He buys love to sell tomorrow. My life ain't no holiday. If
And that's your records roundup for today. A relatively prompt one by my normal standards, I think. Still got plenty of stuff to come. Pre-orders that'll be on their way very soon. I've got a really nice box set coming up that's out as I'm recording this at the end of this week. So hopefully you'll be seeing that unboxing and a close look at that box set sometime next week, hopefully, depending on my schedule and what other videos I've got going out. But you'll see it very soon. And I do promise you that one's going to be a lovely one to look at with me in a lot of detail. Thank you all for watching, and I want to say special thanks as always to my wonderful subscribers and my generous patrons. Please see my Patreon link, Facebook group link and a link for Urban Jungle Content Insurance down in the description below. I'm going to go now. Lot of stuff to listen to. New Order, the 2015 Brixton Academy live album. Probably listen to that one first, even though I've got it on CD, so I've already heard it. Had it since 2017 when it came out. And of course I've got Hadaway and Gigi D'Agostino to get stuck into soon as well. And I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next records roundup and record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!